Wait, remember Mighty Beanz? They were these little toys shaped like, you guessed it, beans. What made them mighty? Well, I'm glad you asked. Watch this. I've never seen anything more mighty than that in my life. There's a little ball bearing in each Mighty Bean that actually causes that flipping motion, but we can just pretend it's magic. I'm not gonna judge you that much. Throughout the start of the 2000s, there was a massive shift happening for what appealed to younger demographics. While toys in the traditional sense were still at the top of the heap for what kids wanted, the rise of technology would heavily cut into that market share. I don't mean that in the sense of more kids wanting PlayStation 2s or GameCubes, heck, even Dreamcasts if you were one of those kids. I mean the fusing of technology into the toys themselves. Your spy gear, your password-protected journals and diaries, your robo-dogs, your robo-sapiens. All of this was coming out, and it seemed like the future was coming faster than you could imagine. So then how did this little bean toy become one of the most wanted toys for Christmas of 2003? Well, it was honestly done in a pretty interesting way, because before we even get to what a Mighty Bean was, we need to see how the idea even came to be. So what actually inspired them was... Psst, hey. Oh, hold on everyone. Let me go grow my hair back out for a second and deal with this. Can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah, man. What's going on? I'm sorry, but you know, I see you wearing fits like this. Is this Fabletics? Well, yes. Yes, it is. Well, it's very nice. Oh, thanks so much. What are you, like, sponsored by them or something? Well, yes. Yes, I am. I want to give a major shout out to Fabletics for sponsoring today's video. You already know that Fabletics clothing contains the best features with stuff like sweat-wicking fabric and breathability. Every piece of clothing, whether it be shirts, shorts, hoodies, socks, or anything they make, literally all of it is masterfully crafted to be the best version of whatever you're wearing. All right, say it with me. Fashion, fit, and function. Good, see, you already know the 3F rule, and clearly any piece of clothing here checks every single one of them off the list. Right now, with the season changing, Fabletics has new drops, like the Getaway drop, that brings in elevated essentials designed for movement, versatility, and everyday wear. From this, they are blending in their signature star styles like the One and Grid Tech to blend together this collection to have a sporty but everyday wear flair to it. So clothing perfect for the warmer weather. Yeah, and for whatever the season brings, really. So then, what's that in the corner there? Oh, you mean the QR code on the screen right here? Yeah. Well, that's how you get the best thing that Fabletics offers, and that's their VIP membership. And if you scan that QR code or click the link in my description, fabletics.com/JordanFringe, you'll get an insane limited time offer. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I was already signing up. Oh, all right. By heading over to fabletics.com/JordanFringe and signing up for a VIP membership, you'll be able to get 70 to 80% off your first order as a new VIP member. Not only that, but as a VIP member, you'll have access to up to 20 to 50% off of all products all day, every day. Plus, there are VIP only sales that happen every single month. Your VIP purchases go towards credits, allowing you to unlock a 2-piece outfit or any single item up to $100, and you always have the option to skip or pause the monthly payment between the 1st and the 5th of every month, and still shop the VIP prices up to 50% off the non-VIP price. So click my link down below, that's fabletics.com/JordanFringe, or scan the QR code and unlock some amazing deals on the perfect clothes by becoming a VIP member. Like I said, I already have. Great, because I genuinely love Fabletics, I love working with them, and I truly appreciate anyone who has supported them using my link. How did you seemingly change between all those outfits while still talking to me? That, my friend, is a secret for another day. Oh man. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah. What inspired them? The Mexican jumping bean is a quirky little bean that, for some scientifically explained reason, moves around when it gets too hot, causing it to look like it's somewhat jumping. Okay, well, it's actually because there's larvae inside of these things and they don't like heat, so they get pretty angry and try to get away from it. From the fascination of this thing that happens in nature, the toy market is where things would head, as the first bit of toys that wanted to simulate the effect the beans had would start coming out around the mid-1900s. They just won't hold still! Much like many toys, this concept was replicated and produced in so many ways from all the way back then to all the way up until now. But there was one form of this bean toy phenomenon that really stuck out and made everyone put it on their holiday list for their parents to buy them. Mighty Beanz. You probably already guessed that. Mighty Bean. If we head back to 2002, aka the year of twos, I'm talking Harry Potter 2, Star Wars Episode 2, Lord of the Rings 2, the first Spider-Man movie. Okay, wait, that one doesn't fit. He's dead. But if we were in 2002 and happened to be in Melbourne, Australia, we would see a company named Moose Toys coming out with their latest toy idea, Mighty Beanz. And just like the actual beans, these were jumping off toy store shelves because they were the hottest toy around.
Mighty Beanz are on the scene. They made something jumping when they're jumping.
After doing insanely well in Australia, there was a big interest in really making these beans truly mighty on a global scale. Well, kind of. There was a big hesitation regarding when it came to the US toy market, as at this point, the US toy market was flooded with so many different toy ideas fighting for attention from kids, with an onslaught of TV commercials, with them all fighting for shelf space at retail stores. But in 2003, one company had a vision, and if their plan worked, Mighty Beanz could end up as a massive success. Spin Master, a hit toy and entertainment company, saw that there are elements to Mighty Beanz that could really do well in the North American market if introduced correctly, making a deal with Moose to be their North American distributor. Now, all these toys technically are not anything like Pokemon. That didn't mean Spin Master couldn't figure out some sort of similar marketing techniques. The first step in their plan was a bit more complicated to pull off, so when bringing them to North America, they decided to do a test first and choose only one city to do this in. The first step here was going to get these toys banned from school. It sounds silly, but it's pretty smart. The most popular toys at the time were always banned from school. Trading cards, Beyblades, Pogs, stuff like that, and all it did was constantly make all these toys more desirable for kids to want. On top of that, headlines and news reports would only do more to spread the names of these toys. So it would be good PR if it showed that kids were obsessed with these toys, so much so that it's creating problems in schools. The second step of the plan is a lot easier, and it goes hand in hand with making kids want them. And that's playing into the gotta collect them all craze that Pokemon and several other franchises helped create. If they market them as, there are this many to collect, and it's all at random, which to be fair was already a factor, they just wanted to heavily push that marketing even more, then it will have the kids wanting to get more of them and subsequently take them to school to either show them off or trade them. If this all worked, it would boost the confidence of retailers to place large orders with Spin Masters. And it's safe to say that the plan worked, even more so than they ever imagined. Not only did Mighty Beanz make a massive leap into the toy market to sell over $40 million worth by the end of 2003, which created a massive shortage for people to get them for the holiday season, but what else is recognized is the way in which Spin Masters did this test, because it became a solid blueprint for tests in the future to make sure that before big money is spent, they knew if it would be worth it or not. But that's all boring business stuff. I'm here for the toys themselves. What's the deal with these beans? How do you even play with them? Well, like this. Okay, maybe not like that. Okay, so technically it was all about racing these little guys. You can use a makeshift slant for sure, but that didn't work out too great. But there were also a few racetrack-like playsets that you could get at the time, like this one. But I don't have that. I have this. But this bean racing track was not part of the original line. But now I'm getting all ahead of myself again. But for now, let's just pretend that it's part of the line and we're using it as an example, okay? For this set, you would race two beans by slamming the pumps, and then they would race their way down, crisscrossing, doing all this stuff. There's a fan here, and then at the end, one of them is a winner. Congrats, I just explained how racing works. Alright, it's a little janky, okay? Speaking of explanations, I sought out someone who would have an extensive knowledge of Mighty Beanz. Someone who has an unparalleled bean collection. So let's check in with my local bean expert, Caleb Swag.
What is up, guys? Caleb here, your local Mighty Beanz expert. Jordan, thank you so much for including me in this video. I was there collecting Mighty Beanz from the start. I got my first pack in 2003 when it hit the United States. Mighty Beanz just kind of checked all the boxes for me. Characters, toys, blind packaging. They had rare variants and incentives to collect them all. At that time, and still even today, that model of toys is still very, very popular. I also thought the spacing of releases was really good into Series 2, Series 3. Then the introduction of IP kind of just sealed the deal for me. You can hear these from a mile away. Just know that I'm packing my beans. This is where it all started, Series 1. I would say about 95% of this collection right here is my 2003 childhood collection. It wasn't until probably 20 years later I decided, dude, I'm gonna finish this collection. 60 beans in total in Series 1, not too bad. This was actually the last one in my collection that I needed. Number 56, the Dogbot bean. The thing with Mighty Beanz is that they are very inexpensive collectibles. Even talking about the 2003 on vintage ones, the only thing is they just don't show up for sale that often, especially very, very specific ones, or getting people to separate lots that they're selling online. So after months on end of scouring the internet, joining Facebook groups, joining Reddit threads, it took me forever to find this bean, but when I finally did, I completed the set. And since Mighty Beanz is owned by Moose Toys, anytime that there was a Moose bean involved, it was a huge deal because those were the rarest of the rare, the creme de la creme. I actually have one that I pulled myself, and that is the peak of my collection for sure. After I completed Series 1, I went on to complete Series 2. Again, a couple rare ones to find in here, but we did eventually get all of them. After completing Series 2, I went on and completed Series 3 as well. And this is actually where I've stopped collecting the main line of Mighty Beanz. Series 4 was kind of the tail end of Mighty Beanz in the main series. I do want to complete Series 4, but not gonna lie, it is pretty tough. I even have a couple sealed packages from Series 1 and 2. They even introduced specialty lines like Mighty Beanz bods, little Mighty Beanz that go in these little tiny silicone bodies. Another set that I would love to complete, again, pretty difficult. I do have a Series 1 sealed package of Mighty Beanz bods, and this one is a Target exclusive. That's also when I got into the IPs like Star Wars, but the two biggest IP sets from my childhood were easily Pokemon and TMNT. There are 32 beans in the TMNT set. Here's a sealed package, and I actually just recently finished collecting that set as well. All 32 beans, we'll call that one complete. But I do have to say the hardest set to complete, no doubt, is the Pokemon Advanced set. 58 beans here, very difficult to collect all 58. It's even difficult finding sealed packages like this one, but after many years with the help of my community, Facebook groups, and Reddit threads, I was able to actually complete this set. This was a tough one to collect, and I'm not sure I've even seen another person with a complete set before. Definitely a prized possession in my personal collection without a doubt.
So I heard that there were some bad beans out there.
Oh dude, you want to talk about some bad beans?
Oh boy, do I.
I'll show you some bad beans, alright. I got them in this little bag right here. There were actually 2 beans that were supposed to be released in Series 3 here in the United States. However, due to their insensitivity, they were actually banned for the US release in 2003. Bean number 26 and bean number 30. The Chief Bean and the Hiawatha Bean. They were actually replaced here in the US with the Cowboy and the Cow Bean. Getting your hands on these 2 beans is actually pretty difficult, and they are some of the rarest ones in Series 1. They were actually a gift from one of my community members. Absolutely incredible. A little stereotypical, a little bit sus, probably a good thing that they were banned.
Thank you, Caleb, and can I have your complete Pokemon Mighty Bean collection?
Wait, this complete Pokemon set? Not a chance, dude.
Alright, worth a shot.
They flip and flop, they pop and drop. Mighty Beanz.
Now, aside from some banned beans, there was even a market for fake Mighty Beans. This wasn't a small operation either. I mean, take a look at this Elvis Mighty Bean right here that I've had since I was a kid. It's fake. It's a fake Mighty Bean. It feels illegal to hold this. Oh. Interesting. You won't catch a regular Mighty Bean coming apart that easily. It just won't hold still. The original generation of Mighty Beans ended up consisting of 5 series drops, making it so that there were over 300 original beans. Now, you may have noticed I said the word generation, and that's because in 2006, Mighty Beans would come to an end in the market, and that was that. Until 2010, where Moose brought the beans back to try and relaunch them, and once again, we would see a total of 5 series dropped in this generation between 2010 and 2012. They were also bringing out new ideas as well, like trying out special new bean shapes that can be found, and even leaning more into the collabs here, like having Marvel or The Simpsons or Star Wars, Cars, stuff like that, to really branch out and bring in more fans. I mean, look at this carrying case. It's the Millennium Falcon. That's actually pretty cool. And while I like the book collector's cases where they either look like a bean shape or the more generic, just book shape, something about storing beans in a Millennium Falcon just feels right. I mean, you can look through the window and see some bean pilots. I think that's the little guy from Cars in there. There were some new play sets, like the one you totally didn't just see me playing with before. Okay, fine, you caught me. But funny enough, this was actually a 2010 Target exclusive Mighty Beanz racetrack. What does that even mean? Now, despite this relaunch of Mighty Beanz, it only lasted for a few years, and then that was it. No more Mighty Beanz. At least for that generation, because one more time, in 2018, they tried to bring back the bean again. And oh boy, those beans were back in town. For this 3rd generation, there would only be 2 series that would drop, and all of the beans would be in their thicker shaped mega bean form, as well as there were new ideas like having beans with 2 faces on them, and then in series 2, they would bring in beans with special finishes on them. I actually have a few sealed packs here of series 1 of that drop that I got on discount back in 2018, and then I kind of forgot that I owned them. So what better time to finally open them than right now? Alright, there are 15 beans inside each of these, okay? And there's a stupid amount of them to collect. Alright, let's see what we got inside. The one that was in there is Polar Bear. That was the one that we could see. We got Brushing Hippo. We got Brace Face. We got Goalkeeper Guy. We got Scared Ghost. We got Grizzly Bear. Yo, we got the Zebra. We got Grandma Zombie. R.I.P. Got hit by a bazooka. Kaboom. We got the Sumo Wrestler. We got the Asketballer, and I'm only saying that because on the back, it does not have the B at the front of the word. We got Strongman. Ooh, we actually got a Two-Face one. This one's sick because this is cat versus dog. Either way you look at it, it's either a cat or a dog. And I love love Cat Dog. Did you guys notice there's a cat dog here at all times? That's a vintage figure. I love Cat Dog. We got Squire, we got Hungry Zombie, and we got Dishwasher. All right, those are our 15 Mighty Beanz. But let's speed run the others and see what we get. Well, these are all cool and everything. They aren't as cool as the big collaboration that Mighty Beanz would have this generation. Fortnite. It's Fortnite. That's right, we live in a world where Mighty Beanz and Fortnite not only existed at the same time, but even collaborated. It's kind of weird to think about, but I'm no philosopher and have nothing worth of value to say other than, okay, that's neat. The third generation would become the final attempt at Mighty Beanz in the market, and while it didn't have the impact like it once did, it's commendable to see how they constantly were trying to innovate the idea. I know the pack I opened was just about opening the box and the presentation isn't anything special, but there were some cool packaging ideas, like ones that would require you to smash it in order to create the jumping bean effect to see what beans would be inside. But like I said, over the years since Mighty Beanz first released, we saw many other ways to market the collectability factor. I'm talking stuff like Beanz Bods, glow-in-the-dark beans, big beans, mini beans, beans with hands and feet, whips. Like, they literally at one point were putting these beans in cars. And of course, what sort of property is complete without some form of trading cards? I have enough trading cards that I collect, so instead, I have this. Mighty Beanz Pocket Puzzles for the Game Boy Advance. That's right, a Mighty Beanz video game.
I've never seen a bean like you. Far out, dude.
Oh wow, inside is one Majesco Gamer Bean, with a chance of getting the limited edition Champ Gamer Bean. Oh boy, I wonder what I'm gonna get. All right, here it goes, let's dump it out. Ready? What the fuck? Mighty Beanz Pocket Puzzles is, you guessed it, a puzzle game where you have to essentially rematch the tops and bottoms of beans together with battling elements similar to the Pokemon Puzzle League series and other games of that nature. All right, so here you could see, oh, okay, you can't really see. Give me 1 second. Okay. Right. Boom. See, now that's innovation. So here from the gameplay, as you could see, it's not really, that exciting. And you'll most likely, scratch that, you will have a lot more fun playing with the actual beans than playing this video game. Okay, this virtual bean case though is pretty cool. Like, there's a lot in the game that I do have, but there's 18 times as many that I don't have. Boom, look at that, we're killing it. Oh, okay, hold on, that's the drag. Okay, there, I got that. Oh, sorry, did you want me to continue on with the video? I mean, I just set this up. At least give me a minute to like play it, you know?
20 minutes later.
Oh, sorry. At some point I got bored. I started playing Pocopia. Just how it is. Mighty Beanz were an interesting concept in general, a fun collectible series of pod-shaped toys that had fun cartoon designs on them and even full-on licensed properties on them. With how Mighty Beanz has come and gone multiple times, who knows, they may make another comeback. There are clearly more ideas that they have and can play into, both working with properties like they already have and tapping into the nostalgia around the Beans. I mean, their 25th anniversary is technically in 2027, and I wouldn't be surprised to see something manifest around it. Even if it is just for collectors like myself or my friend Caleb Swag, who would want to finish some form of collections that we started as a kid. Well, mostly me. Caleb has like all of them. I am totally a believer in the almighty Mighty Beanz. They were fun to collect when they first came out, they are fun to revisit now in a nostalgia sense, and I loved exploring the journey that these jumping beans have taken throughout their entire life cycle as a toy. Mighty Beanz became the initial biggest international success for a toy from Moose Toys ever in the early 2000s. Aside from other attempts to relaunch Mighty Beanz a couple of times here and there, today Moose is best known for being behind the Mr. Beast Lab set of toys. So in a way, they're still making collectible toy lines. Hey, maybe one day that just means they'll make a Mr. Beast Mighty Bean toy line. And I'm hoping to get the rare glow-in-the-dark golden Chandler. Either way, did you ever collect Mighty Beanz, and should they come back in any shape or form? Hopefully in bean shape. Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. I've been Jordan Fringe. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more of whatever this is, and I'll see you soon. But until then, later.